Hey guys, welcome back to Friends and Enemas. I don't know if you noticed the studio, but I'm with Miss Avery Woods at her place.
Hi.
She graciously opened up her studio for me too, which is nice. We just got done finishing my episode on her podcast, so you'll have to go listen to Cheers with Avery Woods. But welcome.
Thanks for
Welcome in
coming
your own studio.
over. No, thanks for being here. Do you want me to unplug my sign, by the
No, it's
way?
cute.
Okay. No, thanks for
Free promo.
coming. I love you
Yeah,
so much. I'm so glad you're
I
here.
know. Thanks for inviting me.
Of course.
I recently moved to Arizona, if you guys don't know, and Avery lives in Arizona as well. But I met you. Let me back up. Sometimes I jump
No, you're
forward.
fine, girl. I'm following.
Um, introduce yourself for people
Oh,
who somehow might not know.
stop. No. I'm Avery Woods, and I never know what to say. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have four amazing kids, and I am a registered nurse. I worked in the PICU the majority of my career. I also dabbled in some aesthetic nursing, but as of last October, I do full-time content creation, which is pretty wild. I did content for a really long time, probably close to 8 years, in addition to nursing. And so, yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year,
A
honestly.
whirlwind.
Like, so much has changed. And you and I have always been mutuals, and everyone always would tag us that we looked so alike, which I was so flattered because you're so fucking
I
gorgeous.
thought the same about
No,
you.
I literally was like, oh my God, not us being twins. She's so hot. But yeah, we were obviously mutuals, and then when you had messaged me saying you're coming to Arizona, and obviously Ashley's my best friend, and so we got to hang out like in person, and it was so
Yeah,
much fun.
that was about a
So
year ago now.
yeah, which is wild.
It is wild, and I
Yeah.
feel like it was not that you did not have a huge presence already, but it was
hmm
right before you quote unquote blew up.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and kind of how
Oh
you felt
yeah.
during that?
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely wasn't expected. I mean, I had some success on social media, I think, compared to nursing. Like, I was contracted with Cherokee Uniforms for years. So I made a small income on sharing my scrub photos on Instagram. And I would do like little deals here and there. I never had a management. I like negotiated all my own stuff. I had no fucking
Miss
idea.
Independent.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. I was
Yeah,
like $50 for this. Oh, hell yeah.
that was me
Like,
too.
and like my husband was working in law enforcement full time. I was working in PICU full time. We have four kids. Like, we weren't flowing in the cash,
Yeah.
So I was like a little bit here and there. I was so grateful for her. And I also was like, wait, you could make money on social media. That's wild. So I worked with Cherokee for years since, I mean, I was like 19 or 20 when they reached out, and I just stopped working with them when I was like 28.
Wow,
So maybe
yeah.
like 8 or so years.
Yeah.
It was a really long time, and I'm so grateful for that time because I learned so much, and they were the first company to really give me a chance.
Mm.
And I like genuinely wore their scrubs every day to work. So it
Yeah.
just like was meant to be. And then I started dabbling in more lifestyle stuff because people would be like, can you show me how you do your work makeup or like work hairstyles, or I love how you style your scrubs, stuff like that. And then I started doing vlogs outside of nursing. So I would do like morning vlogs prior to a shift, or like a wind down evening vlog after a 12-hour shift. People love to see that.
Yeah.
And those videos started picking up even more than my nursing content.
Okay.
And I mean, we obviously talked about this earlier on my podcast, but I didn't have the confidence that I could have any success on social media if I left nursing. And so I just felt like I always needed to stay in that field in order to have social media success. And I always tell people like nursing was my lifelong goal. I wanted to be a nurse since I was a very young child. And I would have been a lifer in the PICU. I loved the PICU. I loved what I did. I loved my connections with my patients and my families. And I was so lucky to work with so many incredible doctors and nurses. But, social media really started to pick up, and I started to gain a lot of traction, and then I started doing the vlogs with Stevie. And that like took off. It was so wild. And I loved it because I first saw that trend with pets.
Yes. Yes.
And I saw people doing it with their dogs and their cats. And if you know Stevie, you know her personality. She's so fucking funny. Like, she's such a diva.
She's a sass.
She's a sass, and she's so smart. And I was like, God, it would be so funny if I did a voiceover with her in that like little like trickster voice on TikTok. And I did, and it literally got like over 40 million views. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I kept doing them. They are now not on the internet because people are really weird, and started, sexualizing my child, which is a whole other subject. So those videos now don't exist on the internet. But with that, obviously her videos were so massive, but the stuff that I was posting of just myself were also like going so viral.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wow, people like me for me, not just because of like Nurse Avery. And obviously, I worked throughout the entire pandemic in the PICU, which is pediatric ICU for those that don't know. And I just kind of came to a place where I felt like I'd missed so much of my kids' lives. And I had this opportunity where my management team reached out to me. I think it was like last May. I signed with them, and that summer changed my life. Like
I
the whole
mean,
summer, it was wild. Like I went from 1 to 2 million followers in like 4 months.
yeah.
And I was able to work with like my team was like, when I first signed with them, list your top 5 brands your dream like is your dream to work with. And I worked with all 5 of those in like the first month.
Holy shit.
So I was like, wow, this is so cool. And so yeah, it just kind of took off. And then last October, I was like, I'll always have my license. I can always come back to it. I had left PICU in December of 2022, so I was doing full-time aesthetics. And I was like, let's just see what happens. Like I signed with my team for 2 years, so I at least have that, right? And we were in a really lucky position where obviously David was working full-time as a sergeant, and we didn't have a lot of bills. Like we bought my car outright, and so we are just kind of like trying to budget. God forbid something happens, like will we be able to survive? And then we kind of came to the conclusion that I should just take a risk and do it. And that's what it was. And I told David, I was like, we're just gonna have to rip the band-aid off at some point
Yep.
because I'm not gonna be able to grow on social media working another full-time job, because when I'm at my job, I'm focused on my job. I'm not
Right.
able to film all of my content and do ads and respond to emails and have meetings, because when I'm home, I want to be home with my kids.
Right.
So I kind of, replaced my job as a nurse with content creation, and it's just taken off even more since then. So I'm so glad I took that risk.
I am too, honestly, watching you, especially because I got to meet you. Like I say before, I'm not trying to, you had a massive following
No, for
then,
sure.
but before then, like getting to know you then was really cool. And you say you grew 4 months from 1 million to 2, but from 300K to 1 million, it
Yeah.
was like a week, maybe 2.
I think it was like 3 weeks.
It was not long.
Yeah.
And I was like, this girl
Yeah. I was gaining like over 100,000 TikTok followers a day at one point.
insane growth.
It was wild.
It should be studied.
For my management team, they like made a post saying I was the fastest growing like content creator they've ever had. And I literally saw it and I was like, me? Like what the fuck?
Isn't that crazy how it happens when you least expect it? Because
Yeah.
you said you've been on social media for like 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with me.
Yeah.
I'd already told you on yours, like at least a decade, just
Yeah.
kind of dabbling and trying these different things out, seeing what would work.
Yeah.
I never in a million years thought nursing would take off because it's not my plan A.
Totally.
And I was like, why this? But it's what people like.
Yeah.
So for you, it was the Stevie, not just the Stevie videos, but that was the initial like push for.
Yeah, I had a lot of viral videos before on
Yes.
TikTok. I just wasn't consistent with it. And I
Yes.
did a lot of nursing videos that were gaining a lot of like millions of views. It's interesting too, because I feel like you're probably in the same realm where when TikTok was first starting and we were starting, the medical influencer world was not a thing.
No, it was not.
There was like maybe 3 big creators I can think of that would like wear scrubs and talk about their job in the medical field,
Mm-hmm.
or like do their vlogs outside of nursing or talking about nursing humor, nursing style. It wasn't a thing. So I feel like it was a little bit easier to take off then, especially because it was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So obviously COVID was like a huge subject on social media, and same with the medical field and nursing and stuff. So I was able to grow really fast, but I wasn't consistent with it because I was working full time in the
Exactly.
PICU. Like I didn't have time for it. So I was contracted with Cherokee, and I was so grateful. I think I got like I think I was getting $500 a month, and I was posting 3 days a week for
Oh
them.
my gosh.
So I was doing like 12 posts a month for them for only $500 a month, which if you're in social media, you know that's very low. But I was so grateful for $500 a month. I was like, holy
Right.
shit, like this covers 2 weeks of groceries for my
Right.
family,
It's not
you
that you're
know?
not grateful. It's just the more
No,
you know. Now you
totally,
know. And so
totally.
it's like, oh, wait a second.
Yeah,
Things could be different.
yeah,
Also why like transparency is so cool with social media, but everyone's so different.
yeah,
It's just a vast difference. I
yeah,
keep saying
for
the word
sure.
difference, driving me nuts. So going back to with Stevie, if you don't mind talking about it, if
hmm
you do, tell me, we'll cut this out. But with Stevie's videos and them having to be taken offline, what do you mean by that?
I privated them.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was this, at first it was, no, honestly, I will say 99% of people were so positive
Yeah,
and
because
loved
that's
it.
all I saw. Because I thought it was
100%.
fucking funny.
And it really, like, from a mom's perspective, it's so funny because it's exactly what you like think your toddler's thinking about. And I loved
They just
it.
can't verbalize it.
Yeah. And I also, like, I really am probably the funniest person I know. Like, not to brag, but like, I'm fucking funny, right? And I was like, I remember showing it to David before I ever posted it. And I was like, do you think this is funny? And it's so hard to make him laugh. He had tears rolling down his face. He's like, that is so funny because it's so Stevie. So I posted it, and I was like, I remember because I wasn't like huge. I never have been like a big scroller.
Yeah.
So I remember like closing out my app the next morning. I was like, what the fuck? I think it had like 16 million views in like 8 hours.
Holy shit.
And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And people are blowing me up. They're like, dude, Stevie's video is so fucking funny. And all the comments are like, this is so relatable. This is so fucking funny. And there's like a couple that are like, the fact that you're showing your daughter while you're saying the F word. I'm like, well, she's not fucking hearing it. So just get your panties out of a wad, okay?
As if that's the worst thing ever.
Totally. So then people are like, we need more, like do a morning vlog of her, do an evening vlog, like show her dance vlog. And the dance vlog one was the one that had like 45 million views. It was
Holy
crazy.
shit.
But this is also around the time that it became extremely, like, it was like, it became a trend to not show your kids on the internet.
Okay.
And here's my thing, and this is going to be a very controversial topic, but I think if you are still showing your kids, but you're putting emojis over their face, you're still showing your kids.
Sure.
Like, if it's in a social media capacity, if you want to not show your kids on the internet, I completely respect that. I didn't show my two stepdaughters for almost 2 straight years.
Yeah.
Because of horrible comments I was getting about their appearance. And so I chose not to show them. But I think you shouldn't dock other moms that choose not to go that realm if you're just putting emojis over their faces, because you're still showing their presence on the internet. It's kind of my thought process.
It's another way to shame moms.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm
totally.
Clearly, I don't have kids. I don't want kids, but I obviously see some of this stuff and I'm like, it's not that deep.
I also think Instagram and TikTok are polar opposite platforms.
Yep.
Instagram has like the OG mommy bloggers that we've like always shown our kids. And I'm not saying exploiting kids by any way, shape, or form. I just mean like we'll share their school photos or like
Right.
on their first day of school. Like that's my scrapbook.
Right.
Like my digital scrapbook, right? Where I can, and I'm so proud of them. I just want to show them off. I love them more than anything in my whole world. So
Right.
whereas TikTok is a lot of outside opinions and noises because people are really brave on that app with their harassment.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where I was getting death threats. I was having people, actually, funny story, I had 2 open investigations on my Arizona license, my nursing license,
What?
which have all been dropped, by the way, because they're not even accurate. And people were calling the State Board of Nursing saying that they should take my license away because I'm sexually exploiting minors on the internet.
This is kind of where I say like,
And you know the best part? And they said in it, she shouldn't be allowed to work in pediatrics.
calm down.
I had been away from bedside peds for 6 months. And they said, you should look into it because I can see, by the way, I have the first and last name of the people that report it. It's the best part, and they will be sued. So, hey, and you're all moms.
Can I
You're
watch?
so bored.
Oh.
But the best part about it is I hadn't worked with peds in 6 months. And they said in the form, she was fired from her pediatric nursing job for sexually exploiting minors. I resigned, and I'm more than happy to show my letter of resignation. Like, I was never in trouble ever at work. I left on my own terms. But when it got to that point, I was like, these people aren't going to let it rest.
Yeah.
And so I privated all the videos because I was like, I don't need to share these videos, and I'm not going to use Stevie as a way to boost my platform.
Yeah.
It was just a really funny thing in the moment, and I loved it. And I think the way my kids are going to be raised, she's going to watch that shit. That's the other thing. She is going to grow up and fucking hate you. My kids are going to grow up with a sense of humor, and they're going to love that
Exactly.
shit. So
Exactly.
we clearly have different ways of raising our kids in different households, and that's fine. But I just came to the decision where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to protect her, protect myself, protect my family. Because when people decided to take it as far as leaking the layout of my house on the internet
That was fucking insane.
and saying like what windows my kids' bedrooms are, and following people in the gate, and like leaving notes under my doorstep and like messages on my Ring doorbell camera, I was like, yeah, I'm done.
It gave me chills.
Yeah, it's really sick. Because what bothers me the most is you're going to talk shit about me saying I'm using my kid, exploiting her, putting her in danger, but then you're going to leak the layout of my fucking house where people can come literally murder my kids.
What the fuck?
So it's just, it's all, yeah. And it was so funny because one of the people that created a hate page about me on TikTok, I was able to link back to her private Facebook account, and she has all 4 of her kids in her Facebook banner, and blessed mama 4 was her bio.
A hypocrite.
Well, you're showing all your kids' faces.
But she wants to judge you.
Yeah.
My hot take is it's a lot of these women
Mm-hmm.
are jealous of you.
Well,
And it's the truth, because there's no, I don't know. I don't have the energy to be that hateful to strangers
100%
specifically
that you don't even personally
that you
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, if you don't have to like someone's content.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care if people don't like my content.
Yeah.
I don't understand the rage that comes with their
100%.
like hours.
I'm like, babe, I'm begging you to block me.
Please.
And if you don't, I will do it for you.
Right.
And then you're gonna waste your day making 5 more fake fucking accounts to leave one comment. I'm like, get a job.
It's, again, aren't you tired?
Aren't you exhausted?
It's weird at this point.
Yeah, it's really strange.
But people try to twist it on you.
Always.
Or whoever they're trying to hate
Yeah.
on. But girl, how do you deal with the haters?
Well, I think I also have like a very different mindset when you were saying that people are jealous. I'm such a girl's girl. Like,
Yeah.
I see people succeed, and I use that as my motivation. Like, people, oh my God, the hate comments I got when I posted bikini photos and I said mom bod. Oh my God. I'm
What
like,
did they say?
oh, that I'm trying to get positive attention for saying I have a mom bod
Shut the
when I
fuck
know that I have a hot body, because I showed my loose skin
People
after
are
having 2
fucking
kids.
annoying.
I'm like, but the best part is if I don't say that, here's my thing. Let me slow down because I'm getting ahead of myself. I've been such an open book about work I've had done.
Yeah.
I recorded my entire, like, from my pre-op appointments to post-op with my boobs. I've talked about my C-section shelf. I fucking recorded myself on Instagram getting liposuction. I literally had a highlight bubble about it. And you can't say you have a mom bod. You're so fake because you've had work done. You lie about it. I'm like, go watch my Instagram highlight, babe.
How long have you been here? 5 seconds?
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's the worst part is I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Exactly.
Because if I'm honest about it, you're so fucking fake. You can't talk about body positivity. But if I don't talk about it, you're a liar because you didn't work hard for that body.
Also, it's the same people who act like they know what body dysmorphia is, because
Yeah.
we all see ourselves differently than, like, you see yourself differently than I see you.
Of course.
And vice versa.
And I also view myself much different because I've seen my body grow, birth, and have 2 C-sections and breastfeed. I've seen my body in the last 6 years go through so many changes.
Yeah.
And I think it's the hardest part is when I'm going back and saying, you know, I'm a girl's girl. I look at women and I'm like, God, she's so like fit and toned. Like, I need to get my shit together. What is she doing? That's like how I discovered Pilates.
Yes.
Because I would see women and I'm like, damn, she's so toned. Like I need to, it was really hard for me to find workouts that worked for me, and Pilates really changed my life. But I look at people as motivation instead of hatred and jealousy.
Oh,
And I feel like that's a lack of a lot of women's maturity and insecurity, that they
yep.
can't view that and make their own lifestyle changes in order to get where they want to get. And, I did, for people that don't know, I did lipo on like my lower, like C-section shelf, because I had a lot of scar tissue, which I still do, honestly. I didn't do like lipo 360, and I honestly regret it because my scars are fucking awful. But after that, like the last, I would say like 6-ish months, I've been doing Pilates 5 days a week, and this is probably the most toned I've ever been in my
Girl, you
life.
look good.
Thank you. But what makes me the most upset is I did a lifestyle change. I started intermittent fasting. I started going to Pilates 5 days a week. When I got lipo, it was, I think, 2 years ago. And I can't even talk about my fitness journey or like what's helped me in my mental health and my body without saying, bitch, please don't fucking put it on Pilates. You got lipo. I did, and I've never denied that. But
Right.
you have to understand that I'm talking about a lifestyle change that has changed my life, that I'm just trying to shed light on. I'm not discrediting the fact that I've had work done.
Exactly.
So I just think it's always a reason to nitpick and hate,
It is. And like you said earlier, like if you went one route, if you're trying to people please, it's never going to work because you're
No.
going to piss someone off. It
Yeah.
doesn't even matter. It
Yep.
doesn't matter who you are. I don't understand the amount of haters you have. It's fucking weird. I've said that so much. Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're always
fuck,
really sweet. You're always
it's
like, what the
fucking
fuck?
weird. I can't imagine living my day like that. Like, that is exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
You're earlier said haters are stupid because they are. You can have different opinions than people, but shut the fuck up sometimes.
Yeah.
And being a girl's girl, you are a girl's girl.
Yeah.
Every comment section I see you in, you're lifting someone up. Every comment section I see you in, you're constantly praising someone. How can people come back and twist anything you say? I mean, that's why I'm so glad you said yes to being on my podcast, because I was like, let me set the record fucking straight.
Oh, you're
That
so
is
nice.
bullshit.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry that you've had to deal with it. Even if it doesn't bother you, I could go on for days about it because I just think it's wrong. Like, it's morally wrong.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think too, I'm a really tough person. I feel like in this field you have to have a backbone, because you really are damned if you do, damned if you don't. And you see
Absolutely.
like the most successful people on this planet or in this industry, like the Kardashians, for example, it's like 90% hate. But look at their empire.
Yeah.
Like look what they've built for their family and their
Mhm.
foundation. And all that matters to me is that my family, my husband, my kids, and our very close knit circle, because we have like our core people, and all that outside people, our circle has shrunk down to minuscule, because
Mhm.
when you blow up in this industry, people unfortunately want to take advantage of you. They have different intentions for you. They get jealous, they open their mouths, they talk shit. And so I feel really very, very lucky of our like core family around us. And even if they're not blood, they're our family, like the Adkins. It's
Yeah.
just,
You choose your family
yeah, you choose your
sometimes.
family. And that's all that matters, is what they think.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what I do. People will always find a reason to hate. And it doesn't affect me because you don't know me.
Mhm.
You're watching from that. You're watching what I allow you to watch. If you don't like that, that's okay. You can find another creator that you like,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
So,
Something about I want to get to your circle shrinking because I can completely relate to that. But I had a friend tell me when I very first started posting online, she texted me and was like, "You don't need to share everything."
oh no.
My friend, I am not sharing everything. That's the crazy part. I'm sharing what I allow these people to see. I share a lot.
They think, oh my God, like my a minute and a half morning vlog, you don't need to record everything. I'm like, girl, you saw a minute and a half of 5 hours.
Exactly.
Literally 5 hours.
Why are
I
you
was
so
recording.
pressed?
It's wild.
Panini pressed.
Yeah, panini pressed.
About your circle shrinking, I think that's something maybe people don't recognize that can happen when you
Oh,
get in
yeah.
any form of like success.
Yeah.
It doesn't just have to be social media, but and a lot of times it's like people close to you, in my experience.
Oh, yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, you rooted me on to a certain point, and once it became, I don't know if it's made you feel insecure. I don't know what the reason is, but once it came to a certain point is when they stopped and started being a hater, or watching my stuff and not helping me succeed. That's crazy to
Oh,
me.
yeah. And you see that too.
All the
Yeah. Oh,
time.
yeah.
And it's kind of sad. It's like, you could be here too. You just have to do the work. Like, I can't do it for you. Someone else
100%.
can't do it for you. But if you want it, you could do it.
100%.
It's weird.
And like we said before, like you would too if you had the opportunity.
100%.
But they don't want to put in the work or try or judge us or whatever, which is fine. But again, you would do it too.
100%.
But yeah, I think people's intentions start to change when you start to get like positive attention, especially in, I guess the limelight isn't the right word, but like on public platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just sad to watch because it's sad to watch, but it's also refreshing. I say this every time. I'm like, it's not that I'm glad you're going through it, but it's refreshing to know you're not alone. So it's not a you
For
problem.
sure. Oh yeah, like you texted me however long ago and you're like, girl, how the fuck do you deal with this hate? Because you were getting some hate. And I'm like, it's really, you just have to get to the point where you can't care that much.
Yeah. Where you really know yourself. I think you told me something like that, and I have it in my little notes because I have had such a difficult time like being a woman who's confident and watching you online. I'm like, oh my God, confident in herself, confident in her body, her image, her brand, her message, anything that has to do with women existing, you're confident in it. And you're like literally teaching other women how to do the same. It's one reason why I was like, if Avery can fucking do this, so can I.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, I think that's really cool what you're doing. So like, I hope that you can weed through the hate and realize how much love you have as well, which is way louder.
Yeah, and that's really is what keeps me going. Like even on a really hard day, like I think one of the hardest days I've ever had, I had to go to Target to get something for the kids. Like I don't even fucking remember what it was, but I think it was like a pair of socks for Stevie's dance or something. But I'm like walking through and this was during the boy mom thing.
Yeah.
Oh. And it was really, really hard for me. And I was walking through Target and this girl takes her headphones out and she's like, oh my God, like you're Avery Woods. And I was like, hey girl, I look like fucking shit. Oh my God.
It's always when you look like shit. Like,
and I don't even care. Like I'm telling you, 90% of the time someone asks me for a photo, I'm not wearing makeup. Because if you know me, you know I like wear makeup maybe once a week. Yeah. But she took her headphones out and she's like, you have changed my life so much. And she was listening to Cheers.
Oh.
And I literally was like, you just made my entire day. And I made her pull out her Venmo and I Venmo'd her and paid for her whole Target trip.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Because I was like, that is what keeps me going. And I also like, oh, dude, I don't know. This is like totally a different subject, but I've met so many influencers in this world on like these fancy brand trips and stuff. They are so salty when it comes to people talking to them and asking them for photos sometimes, or they get annoyed, which, okay, I get like, it can be overwhelming, but my thing is I would not have this job or this life if I didn't have people watching me and supporting me. And so seeing that I was like, oh my God, you're literally watching my podcast where you're going through Target. Like, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But like, those are the people that get me through it because I know I have so much more love than hate.
Absolutely.
It just obviously like the hate stands out more because it's hurtful.
Absolutely.
But since then, I feel like I've gotten so much stronger because I can't change people's opinions if they're set on hating someone that they've never met.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it's like, and something else, like I've interviewed a few other creators or influencers, and something that sticks true is every one of us have haters.
Oh, all of us.
And I'm like, okay, so it's not me, it's not you.
Yeah.
It's these random people who are fucking bored.
Yep.
And they have nothing better to do than create
the
worst rumors.
I've had so many people message me if I like talk about it, because now I just like some of the hate comments I just find fucking funny. Like I'll just like post on my stories because I'm like, honestly, it's embarrassing at this point. And then it's so funny to me, like when the person messages me and is like, I didn't mean it that way. I'm like, no, you're just mad you got publicly caught.
You're mad. You didn't think she would.
I've had so many women and men message me when I post a public hate comment, like laughing about it, like these people are so fucking bored, saying, oh my God, girl, I don't know how you do it. I posted one TikTok video that went so viral and I never logged on TikTok again because it got so much hate. Like, because anything that's getting viral attention is going to have some sort of hater on it because it's trending, it's popping up on everyone's For You page. And that is like so reassuring to me because I'm like, okay, it's not just me.
It's really
It could be
not.
someone that's never posted a video in their fucking life that no one even knows, and people will jump down their
Every
throats.
time
Yeah.
about the most tiny thing.
Yeah.
They could be wearing a red shirt and they're like, I fucking hate that shirt.
Oh my God, did you hear my red hat story?
No, wait,
Oh,
what?
you're gonna fucking die. This is,
Why are there so many stories? That's pissing me
oh
off.
yeah, this is when it gets just funny to me that they can't even use their two fingers to zoom or look even just one more second longer before leaving a nasty hate comment. I posted a fucking photo of Stevie and I on our boat on the lake, and I was wearing a red hat that in white letters said therapy is hot.
Okay.
All of the comments, fucking unfollowing your MAGA hat. They thought it was a Trump hat.
Okay, use your brain. And once again, they don't have critical thinking skills.
I literally go on my stories of the comments and I screen record myself zooming in on my hat, and it very clearly says therapy is hot. The way those comments were fucking deleted so quick. And I'm like, you guys, it says therapy is hot. And the best part was that it was a small business owner who's so cute. And she literally makes a TikTok that goes viral and was like, POV, your hat got Avery Woods a bunch of hate. I'm so sorry. It says therapy is hot. And then her hat sold. I was like, oh, I'm so happy for you. But I was like, you can't even zoom. You just automatically see a red hat and think I'm like this Trump lover.
They just decided to create what they wanted
They said,
for you.
I needed a reason to hate this bitch
100%.
more. Yeah.
It's just fucking weird. And I'm gonna bring up the Reddit thing.
Oh.
I've never gone through your stuff. I just know that you have a Reddit page.
Yeah.
That is fucking ridiculous.
Oh,
I keep
well,
just saying that.
Yeah, I think everyone has one, to be honest.
Weird.
Everyone has one. And I'm very proud to say I've never, ever looked at it.
Don't ever do
And I
it.
have lawyers in there, and it's going to be shut down soon. And I'm sure they're going to have a fucking field day. They had to like deactivate it for a couple days because of all the copyright and like leaking the layout of my house and spreading all these rumors that David got fired from his police department when he resigned, and they're still asking him to stay. I'm like, you guys need to get the fuck over this fucking rumor. But yeah, it was first brought to my attention through some sort of comments. I can't even remember. And I was like, because I have really good friends that are on the Reddit a lot, like look at it a lot. And I just know I would not be okay. But I don't know how those snark pages are legal.
I don't either.
The fact that when you open it up, it gives you a suicide warning.
I didn't know that.
My team was telling me when you open my snark page, it gives you a warning for suicide. Like, reading this may lead to you wanting to harm yourself, like meaning me.
I'm sorry. Reddit is a very evil place.
Oh, yeah. And the creator of Reddit has since left, and his entire mission now is to get it taken down. Serena Williams' husband.
What? I don't know the
They
lore.
launched it as like a educational website, basically.
Oh my God.
My issue with Reddit is I think you're totally valid to have freedom of speech or share whatever. Anyone that hates me with everything in their being could write the most crazy, insane fucking things about me, and everyone on that bandwagon's going to believe it. And I'm like, there's no proof or factual information to this.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
But yet they just spin their lies.
Yes.
To make them bigger and worse. And like you said, whoever's on there is looking to hate you.
100%.
And then they want to just read one little thing 100%. And pretend it's real.
Yeah, I wouldn't even care, honestly. I would just leave it alone. And I'm only told things that are in there that need to be handled for like legal purposes. Absolutely. But what's wild to me is it got to a point where that was the reason I told David, I said, you need to leave law enforcement.
Yeah. In
his office, I'm not kidding you, because he was a sergeant. So he was in charge of an entire squad. He was a boss. He did law enforcement for over 10 years. And there are a lot of bad seeds in the world. I'm not going to lie. Like, there are so many things happening in law enforcement that are just fucking sad, that some of these cops just really need to get their shit together or go to jail for what they've done.
Right.
My husband was not one of those people. And he did so much good for the world and our city and received life-saving awards and so many amazing things, which I'm not even going to waste my time talking about, because people are like, oh, you're a pick me, you want attention. But my issue with it was in his office, he shared an office with 3 other sergeants. And there were sergeants in his office on their work computer on my Reddit page in front of him, using their work computer to look at it. And multiple other people in his department all fucking over my Reddit, or the wives, like the cop wives, started a rumor, this insane, disgusting rumor saying that he was fired from Mesa PD for this rumor. It got to the point where they then investigated this rumor because everyone was bringing my Reddit to higher up's attention. By the way, it was investigated and shut the fuck down because it wasn't even true. And I said, you need to resign. And he was like, if I resign, it looks guilty. I said, no, it doesn't, because the investigation was dropped. I said, you need to get the fuck out of there. They're in your face, in your office, on a page that wants me to kill myself. And they want to come, they're death threatening my children. You need to fucking leave.
Absolutely.
Like, it's wild. And then the people that hate law enforcement.
Yeah.
I would get photos of him directing traffic, like from Instagram, saying, like, I see your husband. My issue is, if those people have so much hatred in their heart for me and they also hate police, why wouldn't they target him?
Yeah.
And he's already in enough danger as it was. I was like, nah, I'm fucking done with this.
You guys had the means for him to step away.
Yep.
It's better. It's better. It's better
Absolutely.
all around.
Absolutely.
But
I just don't agree with I think freedom of speech is great if it's factual information.
Right. But making up lies just because you don't like someone
100%.
is absolutely
100%.
It's a form of bullying. It's cyberbullying, but it's much worse than that. It's harmful. Posting your house is out of this world crazy.
Oh yeah, we just had to make an entire LLC with our lawyers last week in Delaware to make our trust anonymous. So when we buy our next house, it's completely anonymous and no one can find it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because people are fucking crazy.
That literally happened last Wednesday. Yep. So we have Delaware LLCs now that are completely anonymous and not linked to my address, so it's not public record.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Well.
And it's my hard rule too. This is when we're talking about our circle getting smaller.
Yeah.
If word ever gets back to me, if anyone I know being on my Reddit, immediately cut them out of my lives.
As you should.
And I have done that so many times.
As you should.
There is no reason why someone that loves you and is in your life should be scrolling on a page that wants you to die, or that talks about what a fucking horrible mom you are, or makes up these awful lies about your family, your extended family, all these things. There is no reason for you to be on that page.
Mm-mm.
I would never in my life go on my friend's Reddit. I've never even been on my own, let alone theirs.
Mm-mm.
I have cut so many people out for that because they got caught fucking red-handed.
As you should.
My friends that are married to people that have been on my Reddit, immediately blocked them, never spoke or saw them again.
As you should. That's creating a boundary for yourself too, because you're smart for not ever going on your Reddit. I Googled myself once and found a Reddit post, and I'll never forget what it said. It's just like burned in my mind.
Yep.
She's a vapid bitch. And I was like,
vapid?
Vapid?
The fuck does that mean?
I had to look it up.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't want them to know. I had to look it up.
Oh, yeah, I'm like,
but I had to, Scotty, what does vapid mean? Let's look it up.
And like, not me not knowing. I swear I'm educated.
I didn't know what it meant. I was like, what's vapid? Offering nothing that is stimulating or challenging.
Okay, like insult harder.
Okay.
Okay, that's lame.
But still, I was like, damn, what'd I do to hurt you? Like,
oh my
what's
God.
your fucking problem?
No, the funniest one, which after this we will not talk about Reddit anymore.
We're done with this after.
But the funniest one is when my team told me that they were convinced that Scotty and I are having an affair and I'm pregnant with his child.
You told me this. I was like,
I'm like,
have you met him?
respectfully, not to like expose Scott, but like he's never even had sex with a woman, let alone me. What the fuck? I'm literally, do you think my husband would let me travel literally around the world with him if we were fucking? Scott is the gayest man I know.
He's very
And
gay.
also I can't get pregnant, so eat my fucking ass. Literally lick it clean.
I think, can I tell you, we're done with Reddit. I fucking hate Reddit and I hate the haters. We can move on from that. But I think it's because people, going back to whenever I said that you're confident.
Yeah.
You talk about what you like with yourself, with your body, with everything.
And I pack my vibrator in my suitcase.
That is what it is. People want to say, oh, well, she's open about being sexual. As women, we should be.
Yeah, of course.
It's very empowering.
Yeah.
Once you step out of that and you realize, oh, men do it, we can fucking do that too.
Absolutely.
Once you realize that, everything's different.
Oh,
people hate that you realize that you're confident in that, and then they take that and spin it with that Scotty's.
Well, and it's funny to me because that never gets to me. I will literally never give a fuck if people talk about that shit. I'm like, if only you saw the coin I make from my Amazon vibrators. Also, the tens of thousands of DMs I get from women. You have saved my marriage. I grew up so legalistic Christian. I was
Yes.
body shamed. I was never comfortable in the bedroom. You gave me the confidence to, I don't know, take it up the ass, whatever the case may be. Like, I've gotten every scenario you can think of. Like, we were on the verge of divorce, and like listening to your guys' podcast changed my life. Like, I don't care about what anyone else says.
Yeah.
That's why I do it, and that's what matters, because people might see the 1% of hate, but I'm like, you don't see the thousands of DMs I get on a weekly basis from women
Exactly.
thanking me. And that's all that matters. And with the body confidence thing, I was the most insecure person in the fucking world until I had kids.
Yeah.
And I always tell women, like, they're so scared to have kids because they're like, everyone says you lose yourself and you're not the same. And I'm like, I gained myself.
Yeah.
Like, I've never felt more in my skin and confident in my body after seeing what it was capable of. And I love that I've spread that message to other moms, that they still can be that bitch
Absolutely.
after their body changes and they have loose skin
Absolutely.
and stretch marks. Like, you're still that hot bitch.
You are.
You know?
I mean, and I've said it already, but like that's why I'm happy to be your friend, because you are a very positive soul on the internet when it can be very negative, and teaching people to love their body as it is huge in this
Yeah.
in this society.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
In this society,
Yeah.
saying that women should bounce back and shit after they have kids,
Yeah, no,
it's
I
just
can't.
unrealistic.
I can't. Yeah. It was so hard for me too, because like in the beginning when I first, like, Ziggy was on a planned C-section, and so like seeing how much my body changed, it just was not something I was like expecting.
Yeah.
And also I gained a shit ton of weight. Like, I gave birth over 200 pounds to Ziggy, and with Stevie I think I was like 190 something. Like, I was a big girl, and I didn't see a lot of women talking about that. Like, they'd be like, oh, I'm back at my pre-baby weight, like 1 week postpartum, or like all the weight fell off breastfeeding. Like, Ashley, so lucky. That bitch would breastfeed and she was like, looked like a marathon runner in a week. I have the type of body that I produce a lot of breast milk, but my body holds on to every ounce of weight until I finish breastfeeding. And with Stevie, I breastfed her for 14 months. So for 14 months postpartum, my body, besides my huge belly, looked the same that I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was just bigger, and that's okay. Like,
Yeah.
bigger than what I was used to. I wasn't by any means fat, but I just was like, I gave birth almost a year and a half ago. I'm working full time. I'm eating healthy. Like, I can't lose any of this weight.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to see that because moms don't talk about that stuff.
No, and like you said, the thing I've heard the most was, if you can't lose the weight, just start breastfeeding. Clearly, it's different for everyone.
100%. Yeah, no, that was not me at all.
Everyone's routine is different.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that you're like speaking up about that and being
Yeah.
honest. Because how hard is it to be online as a woman, seeing people not be honest about things that they've had done and pretend. Not that people have to tell what they've had done, but it's really nice when they do.
For sure.
Because then you can say, oh, wait, if I had the money, I could buy that actually.
Yep.
I could get that too.
Yep.
So I really appreciate that from you. And even like Emily from,
Oh, yeah.
you guys are all really
Yeah,
open
she's the
about
best.
what you do with your body. And
Oh, for sure.
it's feels very seen. is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to
And
say.
it's really weird to me when people are so against that. But then if you see alterations on like a celebrity's body, all the comments are, you're such a fucking liar. Like, we know you got your boobs and our work done. But then if I do talk about it, it's that I'm fake and I'm not allowed to talk about body positivity. I'm like, just
Sit down.
sit your fucking ass down.
Put your
for
phone
real.
down and shut up.
100%.
I'm going to jump to something lighter and
Yeah,
more
please.
positive. But what's your favorite brand trip you've taken?
Oh my
I'm sure there's a
God.
ton.
Well, I have one this weekend, which I can talk about because
Okay.
but I haven't been on the brand trip, but we got invited to go to the Olympics in Paris, which is crazy.
Fucking cool.
And I'm like, I nerd the fuck out at the Olympics. Like, I love the Olympics. So when we got that, I was like, whoa. But I can't say it's my favorite because I haven't been on it. I would say probably Bora Bora.
Yeah, that looked cool.
That was really cool. That was with Tarte. And I think just the location in general was a place that I always saw, but I was like, I'll never go there, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So when we got to go, I was like, what? And they flew us in a private jet, which was also,
I saw that. I was
like, okay. So cool. And Maureen and the whole Tarte team, they're like, she really is like the most giving person ever.
Aw.
Like, the other day I got a package in the mail and it was full of makeup, and I threw the box down on the ground to throw it away, and it was like kind of heavy, like clunked. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I opened the bottom of the box. It was a brand new purple iPad. And like before Bora Bora, we got like our box, brand new Canon G7X.
Oh my God.
Like they take care of their people
Aw.
hardcore. And I love it too because we always like do giveaways. Like I gave away that camera. Like it just they're really thoughtful in that way. Also going to Costa Rica with Free People
That looked cool.
because Free People is like my brand.
Yeah.
I've been obsessed with them for so many years and their team is so lovely. And that's really important for me because when you work with the brand so closely, like you have to have a good relationship with their team and their like behind the scenes people are just so sweet.
Yeah.
And Costa Rica was so cool.
It looked really cool.
Like just sloths climbing in trees and shit.
the sloths are so cute.
Oh, so cute.
I'm obsessed with
Yeah,
sloths.
they would have locals like on the side of the road with these special like telescopes and you could look through them and see them really close. So cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I asked you that because I feel like, you've got a lot of followers that probably, I don't know, maybe they want to be like you. They want to start social media. What advice would you have or give to them?
Consistency. And like you and I talked about this before, where in the beginning of TikTok, when I was working during the first surge of the pandemic, all of my videos did really well. I just wasn't consistent with them because I didn't know how to use the app, to be honest. So I would only post like every couple months, but I would say consistency is key. The algorithms are going to push your content more if you're consistent. Interact with your audience, but also talk about things that you're passionate about. If you're going to fake it because it's trendy, you'll never be successful. Don't be the type of creator that bullies other people to get attention. Like don't stitch people's videos and talk shit about them. Brands will never ever work with you if that happens. Like I see a lot of content creators that will stitch other people's videos to like make a hate video about them or be like, what's your thoughts on so-and-so's like Avery Wood's Bohemon video? Like if you're trying to get millions of views off of my success, you're going to, and no one will ever work with you because it's just bullying.
It is bullying, and brands see right through that.
Yeah. And then the other thing is you have to stay authentic to yourself, meaning don't change the way you act on camera because you'll burn out.
Yeah.
You won't be able to keep up that persona your whole career. And then once you start getting more comfortable and shifting into who you actually are, people will say that you're fake, that you've changed.
Yep.
So I think it's also just exhausting to
be a character
and be such a filtered person. And that's why I always say like people get mad at me because I'm unfiltered and I like to say the word fuck or I pack my vibrator in my bag or talk about anal sex. But respectfully,
which all three are great.
You can at least say when you meet me in person, I'm the same person. I really am. Like you're not going to meet someone different. And I love that my audience knows that and they support me for who I am because I would rather be loved for who I am than hated for who I'm not.
Exactly. At the end of the day, you'll know that you did what's right for you.
Yeah.
And you stayed true to yourself.
Yeah. And I also think when people are like, I really want to do social media, but it's so overly saturated. There is room for everyone. There is literally room for everyone. There is room for everyone to do morning vlogs or get ready with me's or an errands video or a hair tutorial or I don't fucking know.
Anything.
Literally anything.
Literally anything.
Cooking videos. Like there is room for everybody because I might not be someone's cup of tea, but someone else's morning vlog might be.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
And I think that's like a healthy realization people need to have in this world is I know I won't be loved by everyone, but I think society needs to realize you can just block me.
Exactly. And like you just said, if you're not loved by everyone, it leaves room for someone else to be loved by them.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
I think that's I was going to say, what's a message you want to leave? But I feel like that was really good.
My message is, fuck the haters, be yourself.
I thought I knew the song.
And enemas.
Where can everyone find you?
Avery Woods with 2 Y's on Instagram, TikTok, Cheers with Avery on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Also, Avery Woods on YouTube coming soon.
Ooh.
And
long form Avery.
That's about all I got.
Awesome. Her links to all of her socials will be in the description. But thank you again so much.
No, thank you for coming and having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bye friends
guys.
with enemas.